Welcome to the Radical Improvements channel. We are a men's lifestyle channel. I'm sexist. I only want to talk to men. Women, get the hell out of here. Thank you very much. Obviously, joking. So, talk about isolation. And I want to come at this from a preventing yourself from self isolating. I want to look at it from when people talk about like their loneliness and the isolation and they've realized they've done it, like a lot of times when people isolate they do it themselves, is my observation. And it's kind of similar and linked to depression, I would say, at least in the way that you can counteract it if you find yourself doing it, because depression is quite insidious because you don't realize you're dropping into it. You have to be very self-aware and be like, "Oh shit, that's happening." And once you are aware of it, it's actually a lot easier to deal with. But if you are isolating yourself, I think the pattern is very similar. I don't know if you agree with this on Andy at all, but like basically, whenever I've just realized, oh, I haven't seen anyone, I haven't socialized in like weeks, it's just I didn't stop myself from doing it. Essentially, that's what I would say.
Yeah, it can be so easy to isolate, man, especially like for you and me and other people that have like remote jobs where you're not going to a workplace and meeting people all the time. And it can be easy to say to all your friends, like, yeah, I'll hang out with you next time. And if you have friends that are super busy, like I do and you do, yeah, it's very easy to isolate, man. One of my good friends is going through this right now. He has isolated himself while he works really hard on the business. And he and I have had quite a few discussions recently where he's just like, man, I'm really lonely and I think I'm trying to use women and dating to fill that void. And that's great sometimes, but sometimes dating can be a little bit of a challenge as well when you're in the process of meeting new
Hands
people.
up who's been in that situation where they're using women instead of seeing people. Yeah. Like seeing my friends or just seeing
Yeah.
women. Yeah.
Yeah. And like women and dating and stuff is still socialization. That's still great. But like if
No,
you're
it's different
so
though.
like
It's
he's
very different, I think.
because they're new, is that what you mean? Like it's a new person that you're not
Yeah,
yet
also
friends with?
the interaction of a date is just entirely different for
Mm,
me from a social, like a proper social interaction, and especially like more of a group thing. Like I
yeah.
think good group hangouts are very healing. Like from like a
Mm,
I think from like a I don't want to say heal your soul, but like like you go on like you have like a really good night with your mates or a really good hangout with your friends, and it's like a group of you. There's something incredibly like healing about that. It's something for me anyway. It's a very refreshing thing to go and do. I can't talk for introverted people because I'm very extroverted. Like I feel like I actually need to go and have this every now and again. Like it's something that my like whatever physiology, neurology is like desperate to go and get that socialization. And like that's why I actually my isolation and depression would actually be mixed because I would start to get depressed if I was isolated for too long. But yeah, there is this thing of like the healing aspect of socializing, the especially for your mood, especially for your like your general happiness. And I yeah, the dating doesn't fill that void. Dating never gives me that feeling that I get from a really good social hangout, social meet, where I just I had such a good time I didn't want it to end kind of level social meet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, something like maybe a baby step of that that works for me as well is just like going outside and being around people. Like I find I will
Mhm.
immediately get depressed if I have a couple of days where I don't leave the house. Like that just doesn't happen anymore. I learned maybe I don't know, 2 years ago, that if I don't leave the house and at least just see other human beings and maybe smile at them, maybe talk to someone in the supermarket, like just hear other human beings' voices. If I don't do that for a couple of days, instant depression, man. Starts to feel so lonely and isolated. And so there's been days, like there was a day 2 months ago, I had broken up with my ex Emmy, like we'd broken up a couple of months earlier, and I was having one Sunday and I was just feeling so lonely to the point where I was like, holy crap, like I could literally cry right now. I feel so lonely. So I just went outside the house. I was like, I just want to be around humans. I want to walk around humans. I went to a shopping center, I went to a supermarket, and then I just walked along like the footpath where there were humans. Immediately felt so much better. So yeah, if I isolate, damn dude, like fast track to depression. How many guys out there
Mm.
do you think are just like depressed because they're not really talking to anyone?
Yeah, like guys we get that we help,
Yeah.
like they'll just say like I haven't really seen my friends. I'm not hanging out with people I like. Is a big one. Like some people, they say they've got like a roommate, but they don't like them. So it basically might as well be isolation because you're just like avoiding your roommate. And then any small interaction you have with them, you're like, oh, I have socialized. Like, no, you haven't. Like, you didn't enjoy that. You didn't get anything from that. That was just like, like, like begrudging socialization almost. Um, I agree with you. Like going out and just like one step further, like socially, like social, I was gonna say social cold approaching. You know what I mean? Like just chatting to people, just like trying to start a
Just saying
conversation.
hi,
Yeah,
hiya.
yeah.
Yeah.
How you doing? Talking to baristas, like fucking do
Yeah.
anything, talk to shop people, like do these are like baby steps, by the way. I think we should talk about this. Like if you're isolated and you're feeling a little bit stuck and like you haven't gone to meet people, this is also good for like if you're in a new city or like all your friends have left. Sometimes you're in a situation where your friends went to like college or something, I don't know, and suddenly you're just like on your own. Like we should look at like the baby steps, like going out into public where a lot of people are, the baby steps of talking to people who are easy to talk to. So, like, you talk to cash serving register service people, you talk to baristas, you talk to shop assistants who want to kind of they have to talk to you. It's their job. So you can just use that to your advantage. Security guards, you and I always chat to security guards. Yeah, basically, um, this is actually like a secondary step though, because I think spotting this first, like, hopefully people are watching this video and maybe it's a wake up call for people who are experiencing isolation and they realize it's self imposed. So the only thing you can really do is take action now to actually go and break your isolation. And yeah, this baby step of actually the first thing is obviously contact any friends you have, I think is the first thing, and just tell them the truth. Like, hey, I've cut myself off. I want to talk to people. The first thing you start doing is phone calls, I think, with friends, because that's going to be like the first
Yeah. Or
level.
even just messaging, just like something. Yeah.
Mhm. Voice notes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Send a
And it can
really
be
long
hard to
voice
do
note to
that.
someone you care about.
Yeah, it can be hard to do that at the start. It feels like it's difficult to do that because you're like, I don't want to be a burden. Like, I felt all of this, dude. I felt lonely after my ex, Emmy, and I broke up. And I realized, oh shit, like she was a big source of like socialization. Like, we had a whole lot of mutual friends that we'd meet together. She obviously was socializing for me, like just hanging out with her was socializing. And there was sort of like a little void that I felt afterwards. And so as soon as I felt that, I was like, okay, I want to tell people. I told you, I told one of my other friends, Taylor, I told my friend Tim, I told a few other people. That was like oddly a little bit of a challenge when I first went to reach out to you and the other guys. I was like, am I bothering them if
Resistance
I
is
tell
there.
them I'm lonely?
Yeah, do
Yeah.
you know what most guys do?
Yeah.
What do most guys do when they get out of a really long relationship instead that's a mistake?
They jump
To
back
fill
into
that
the next
Yeah,
relationship.
to fill that void.
Yeah.
Like, I've got this void that my girlfriend has left, that my ex-girlfriend has left. I'm gonna replace that void with a silly mistake of immediately getting a relationship or immediately getting in too deep with a girl that could have been
Yeah.
maybe just like
With
casual or
anyone.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
yeah, yeah,
doesn't
like
matter who it is.
low
Yeah.
bar, whoever will have me. You won't have a lot of confidence. Typically, don't have a lot of confidence coming out of long-term stuff. Yeah.
Do you remember what you and I talked about? Like, do you remember what I asked you for accountability with as soon as I broke up
Well,
with Emmy?
don't get a relationship for 6 months. No relationships for 6
Yeah.
months after you get out of a
Yeah,
relationship.
I was
Anyway,
like, bro, can you make sure I don't like go hardcore all in? Like, can you just like if I start to, can you talk to me about it? And you did. There were a couple of girls that I had feelings for, and like feelings are great, wonderful. But you were just like, hey, buddy, like, are you still keeping your independence? Are you still living your own life? And I was like, fuck, man, thank you for this. Yes, yes. Let's make sure I do that. So yeah, we all feel that temptation.
in terms of like breaking isolation, so yeah, sorry, start with your friends that exist that you may have like dropped off a little bit. You can apologize, say, I'm sorry, I completely dropped off the face of the planet Earth. You try and reach out to them electronically. I prefer it if you do try and like meet them for coffee or something, like go and see them in person if that's possible. Um, I think your family doesn't count, by the way. Your family to me is part of is would it be within the realm of like not socializing. It's like I don't know what you call it, but they're a level of like always constant in your life. So it doesn't really count in the same way for breaking isolation. But obviously, it's good if you're talking to your parents, your mum, you have a good relationship with your siblings as well. Um, after you've talked to them, you go meet in person. Try and meet multiple people in person if you can as well. Like having a group, like meeting a group again, going to group events, going to stuff where like there's a lot of people. That's going to help you feel like more normal again. And when you do it once, what do you do to follow up, Andy?
You do it twice.
Yes. Logically speaking, yes, that is what happens after you do the first time. The second time comes after the first time. Yeah, it's
And then the
about
third time.
I think a lot of it's like it's easy to get out and do something positive and then just not follow it up. That's one of the big
Yeah.
things I think. So the follow up is more important almost. Like I'll celebrate you. Like, hey, I didn't see anyone for like 3 months, and I got out and saw my friends. I was like, are you going to do anything else? It's like, no, that's fine, isn't it? It's like, no, I want you to like follow up more people because you've spotted the
Yeah,
problem,
yeah.
you've spotted that you've isolated yourself. Now we get you on a roll. Now we get you back to a more like normalcy.
Yeah, you're basically saying make a change. Like if you're because the funny thing about like isolation and then if it starts to lead into like loneliness and even a bit of depression, it's very self-reinforcing. It's self-afflicted, and that's not us blaming you, but like it's self-afflicted. And then it's self-reinforcing. You know, you're like, I feel lonely, therefore I shouldn't reach out to my friends, which makes no logical sense, but that's what our brains say. You know, I feel depressed. I don't want to be a burden to people, so I won't tell them that I'm depressed and I won't help myself through the depression. Like depressed people want to keep being depressed while simultaneously wanting to be happier as well. And lonely people and isolated people want to keep being lonely and isolated while also simultaneously wishing you had friends. So they're very like, it's like a dark cloud that hangs over you, or it's like being pulled down into a pit. And that's why we say reach out to someone else, because you usually don't have the energy. Most of us don't have the energy to push ourselves out of loneliness or depression. It's got to be other people pulling you. And the ego doesn't like that. Like I even said, it was a little bit of a challenge for me to reach out to you and my other friends and be like, I'm lonely. Like literally, I sat there for like 2 hours thinking of how to say that to you and to everyone else. And I was like, just fucking type it, man. You're lonely. You're sitting here feeling really sad. It doesn't matter how you say this, just fucking type it. But there's all the feelings of, like I said, I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to bother Cam. Cam has a lot of shit to deal with. And it's like, it's not a burden. You just say, I'm lonely. And the person says, all right, let's hang out, or let's talk, or let's do voice messages, or can you see some other friends, or what are you going to do about it? Like, it's quite easy for them to pull you up, but you don't have the
Hmm.
energy to push yourself up.
It's the same advice that we give to people when they're depressed. The first thing you do is tell someone. Well, first thing you do is notice you're depressed, and the second thing you do is tell someone. So to recap,
Yeah.
here, spot your isolation, hardest part. Maybe it's just this video. You watch this video, maybe you knew already. Fuck, wake up call. Second thing is reach out to people, potentially existing friends. The goal is to communicate with them and then meet them up. The third thing is follow up, like follow up stuff. Don't just do it once, then go back to your hole. Like we got to get you out there, like repeatedly, like climbing out of the hole of the isolation. The fourth one I'll give you is now you're ready to go and start making new friends and get that dopamine hit of meeting new people. And if you're interested in that, I'm making tons of videos in this friend series, so they'll be all over the channel about my advice for making new friends. But I think for isolation, I would focus on the easiest, lowest hanging fruit, which is like your existing friend group, your existing social network. If you are in a situation where you don't have that in your city, then yes, dive into my content about making friends with new people, and that will just have to be how you get out and how you go and meet people, then follow up with them instead of your existing friends. I think that's the way I will end this video. Andy, thank you so much for coming to my channel and talking about isolation. I'll see everyone next time.